Hello, hello, hello. Let's get this baby going on the Instagram, the Instantgram. Let's see if we can get them over to the YouTube. Um, all right. Oh, okay. Let me actually, you know what? I need to close some windows. Because my internet has been like, girl, you broke. And I'm like, I am, but also I do pay my bills. So, all right. So what's up, y'all? Listen, we have so many things to discuss today. I do have a guest coming at some point whenever he decides to show up. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Let everybody come in. Please, if you're watching this on YouTube or Instagram, please share with other people so that they know to come watch. We are going to be talking a lot of political stuff. Okay. Um, hey y'all, hey, love to see you here. So glad that you're here with me. There's a lot of stuff going on. So it is, what is today? January 28th. And Donald Trump became president. I think the last time I went live was trying to stream the inauguration, and they kept kicking me off because the man, they want to take me down. Um, I'm also crying. I'm inside. But I'm also drinking this, and it's helping. Uncle Arnie's THC. I like it. It helps. So President Trump has been in office since technically the 20th. So that's a little over a week. Does the United States have another week? I don't know. Actually. Anybody have an idea? Anybody want to take bets on how long before the United States is no longer a nation, has imploded? Anybody? How long it's going to take before he completely destroys everything? Okay, just wondering. Yeah, 8 days has felt like 73 years. I think that he's going to take the opportunity to revel in throwing away Black History Month, or his attempts at that. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Oh, our guest is here. Let's bring him.
Oh, hi.
Are you ready? Hi.
Are we live?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, we are.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, would you like to be removed? Okay, you're not ready. I'll take you off. Again, what is happening here? Like, are you
I
ready?
hadn't had a chance to read the docket yet, so I have no idea what's happening.
Oh, I said, okay, listen, understand, folks. I try to be professional. I try to run this show with some legitimacy.
Sure.
You all asked for Dr. H to join every now and then.
Every now and
I'm
then.
being nice enough to let him do it.
I appreciate it.
And he's not even prepared.
I was working.
Right. Unprepared Scorpio man. Right.
Ah,
Right. Okay, so
I
cool.
do right on vibes, Katie.
Do you have the docket up now, though?
Yes.
I was just introducing people and just saying that, in the last week, Trump has been trumping, right?
Well,
And
he did all the things that they laid out in 2025, right? Project
right,
2025. He just started
right,
the agenda from the top, taking it from the
from the
top.
top. The
Uh-huh.
thing that he said he wasn't going to do.
I mean, whose fault is it for trusting him to tell the truth?
Not mine.
Ugh.
I
We
definitely did
thought
not
we
believe
thought
him.
we thought he could be trusted. Why would anyone think he was telling a truth?
So, we're not on that whole like, oh, that's what you get
Mm-mm.
because you voted for him, or oh, that's what you get because you didn't vote for him. Because listen, let's not pretend that the Democrats are doing any fucking thing to stop him.
Genuinely not enough. Not enough.
They're not doing anything
Yeah.
to stop him. They're tweeting through it, right? Does everybody understand that the Democrats are tweeting through it? Back in the day, in the old days of Twitter, when somebody would be being dragged, getting dragged, or be up on the Summer Jam screen, and they would just keep going, tweeting like nothing was happening, we would say, they're tweeting through it.
You taking us
And
back
that's
to the
pretty
Summer
much
Jam screen. That's
a
reference for the
that
audience.
is a reference. If you don't know what the Summer Jam screen is, I don't know what to do. But anyway, so we have a few things that we want to talk about because there have been some pretty major attempts at things.
A lot of news.
A lot of news. One thing I don't have on the docket. I don't have on the docket, but we could start with it. He tried to fire 12 inspectors general.
Inspectors general, yes.
No S at the end of general. Oh my God. Get off my show. It's inspectors general.
Inspectors generals.
Get off my show. Okay. Bye. One, he stays. Two, he goes. Like, what are we doing here, folks? Like, I don't. I'm trying to run a professional show here. So he got rid of 12. He tried to get rid of 12 inspectors general. And we know that that they cannot be fired without, or they can't be removed without like 30 days notice, right, to Congress.
As by law, like it's in the law.
By the law,
has to be made aware that they are going to be fired and that they cannot. You got to give cause and 30-day notice because they're oversight, right? The inspectors general are there to be oversight,
right? And they are expected to be independent, apolitical. Not even bipartisan, like apolitical, right? They get people, the 12 people in the world that in the country that don't have, political leanings or whatever. They get those folks to come and be oversight.
Yeah.
And the whole point is checks and balances. The United States government exists the way it does, the three parts, the three branches, ideally, because of checks and balances, right? We don't, they don't want any one branch of the government having all the power. And so checks and balances exist. And so those positions, inspectors general, there's other positions as well. They're there to keep an eye. They're watchdogs.
Right.
Make sure you're not being corrupt. Make sure you're not, exploiting people. Make sure you're not misusing funds, breaking the law, violating the Constitution, all those things. So of course he wants to get rid of them because they're impartial, right? Like they're not. Is it impartial, right? Impartial, right?
Impartial. Yes.
Right word? You're smart.
Sometimes.
He doesn't want that. He needs his people overseeing each department, everything, so that they can make sure that things go his way. So that's why he got rid of them. So that was a pretty big deal. Shout out to the folks on Instagram. I see a lot of you there. We are actually, I didn't even pin the thing. That's the problem. YouTube, I didn't pin my comment telling people to come join us on YouTube. That's my bad. If you're on Instagram, come join us on YouTube, youtube.com, Feminista Jones. I'm live over there. They're in the comments. We'll have a comment situation. Okay. So that was there. So anyway, other stuff has also happened. So there was a memo that went out, an official memo. Can I show people this? Let me show people this.
Show people the memo.
I'm going to show you guys the memo. Okay. Because, you can see, I mean, it's not going to be, you're not going to be able to see much, but I just want to show you. Let's see. Let's put that. Yeah. So there was I just want to show you this so that you could see that it's actually an official memo. Executive Office of the President, Office of Management and Budget, which will now be called OMB. We're going to refer to them. Memorandum for heads of executive departments and agencies. Okay. That's all people who lead the executive offices, right? What's interesting about this letter, and it goes along with the political theater of it all, they've been often talking about, like, a lot of the rhetoric has been, well, the American people elected Donald J. Trump to be president of the United States.
Yes.
Have you been noticing that?
Yes, they've been saying the American people asked for this. He has a referendum from the American people because this is what they voted for. That's been the language they've been using about every move he's made, as if that gave him a totalitarian level of authority over everything, every choice he decides to make, as if it's not still an elected position, which means that some people might disagree and can disagree with his positions and, push back against positions.
This also a way of them making like, we didn't want to do it. We didn't, it wasn't from us. This is what the American people wanted.
Right.
So I don't have to share this anymore. Okay, I'm going to read it. But they're basically framing it like this is what the American people wanted. And so this is what he's doing. So if you're upset about these things, be upset with yourselves, be upset with your fellow Americans because they voted for him. And they asked him for it. The truth is that we know that many of his supporters did not vote for this because they didn't know that these were necessarily some of the things that he was going to do. I don't remember any point in his campaign him saying that he was going to get rid of all the inspectors general. I don't remember in his campaign him saying that he was going to freeze, federal funding for things. Maybe I missed it. I didn't watch everything that he said.
He did come to drain the swamp and to stomp out DEI and to end wokeness.
Right.
So
I'm just going to, I was just going to read the first paragraph.
Go ahead.
Because I feel like people need to understand how incredibly absurd this is. Okay. The American people elected Donald J. Trump to be the president of the United States and gave him a mandate to increase the impact of every federal taxpayer dollar. In fiscal year 2024, of the nearly $10 trillion that the federal government spent, more than $3 trillion was federal financial assistance, such as grants and loans. Career and political appointees in the executive branch have a duty to align federal spending and action with the will of the American people, as expressed through presidential priorities. Financial assistance should be dedicated to advancing administration priorities. I just want to put a pin in that. Focusing taxpayer dollars to advance a stronger and safer America, eliminating the financial burden of inflation for citizens, unleashing American energy and manufacturing, ending wokeness.
Ending it.
And the weaponization of government. Promoting efficiency in government, and making America healthy again. The use of federal resources to advance Marxist equity. Transgenderism. Right, because it's an ism. And Green New Deal social engineering policies is a waste of taxpayer dollars and does not improve the day-to-day lives of those we serve. So there's a lot in there, folks. There's a lot in there. Are y'all still with us? Did this chat stop for me? What happened? Are y'all still with us?
No, they just haven't said anything. They're still there.
Oh, because we're just boring. Oh, this is you. Oh, see, when I'm doing it, people don't have a problem talking.
No. They were just listening intently. They were so listening
intently. You come and then everybody's quiet. I don't.
They were so engrossed by what you're saying that they didn't want to disrupt or
okay, sure. See, so essentially what this first paragraph says is that $3 trillion was wasted on wokeness, transgender people, and the attempt to have Marxist equity, which is really like, all the social safety nets that keep tens of millions of Americans from dying every day. And what they call Green New Deal social engineering policies. This is the first time I've heard them refer to the Green New Deal as social engineering. Have you heard that before?
No.
But what do they mean by that?
I've heard that they essentially think of it as, an attempt. They look at it as, oh, thanks, Ryan. Thanks. They look at it as an attempt to, once again, spread an agenda. They don't believe in climate change. So why would you need a Green New Deal? They don't believe that American industry should be stopped. So you don't need to start making deals to reduce industry. It should just be, drill, baby, drill, and oil, and coal, because that's what America's built on.
Okay, so I get it. All right. But I want you to hear that last line. It's a waste of taxpayer dollars that do not improve the day-to-day lives of those we serve. So all the people that benefit from, government assistance, social safety nets, those
The
kinds of
people.
things,
Yeah.
they're saying those are the people that they don't serve. They're saying those are not the people we serve.
And
And they
blatantly
made that
saying,
very plain.
yes.
Like they'll never be able to say, like you'll never be able to say they didn't tell you.
Yeah.
Like they're putting it in writing. And it makes, again, I keep referring to the Unwind series. But one thing that I love about that series is they would insert like clips from the media and from the newspaper, just showing headlines and kind of showing how these memos and things like that were just slowly making their way. And it's like, oh, well, if you looked back at this one, they already told you what they were going to do. This is an example of this, right? So they're making it very clear. Everybody the people in the 3 trillion, we're not serving you.
No.
So I said that this had Elon Musk all over it, right? Because back in October, he said that we were going to experience, some hard times. Excuse me. He said Americans were going to have some hard times. It's austerity, right? But he's like, Americans going to have some hard times, but that's going to be necessary in order to advance America.
Right.
Which
when you're a billionaire, it's very easy to say we're going to have some hard times because you got a lot of room to cut some funding, right? But when you're, not even $100-aire, like many Americans are, they don't have not even $100 in the bank, to shut off all the funding can be exceedingly disruptive, right? Even if it's like, so we just got something in the state today because I'm a therapist, I take Medicaid. We got a notice that Medicaid might be shut off for 90 days. Like, what does that do for people who need help, who need care, who need medical assistance, who need mental health care? What if you have a mental health crisis in the next 90 days? Or is this saying the day-to-day lives of these people who depend on this care from their government aren't the people who are being served by these agendas? I mean, it's saying it plainly.
So this caused a lot of confusion because this memorandum requires federal agencies to identify and review all federal financial assistance programs and supporting activities. But the footnote says that it defines federal financial assistance to mean assistance that recipients or subrecipients receive or administer in various forms. But this term does not include assistance provided directly to individuals. So that was where some people were getting confused, right? Because the way money trickles down from the government is there's so many ways, right? First of all, the government employs like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, right? How many people does it work for the federal
employer? Yeah, it's the country's largest employer.
Right. And so you have all these people who are not going to get paid. Like, what is happening? Like, they're talking about grants and loans. And so people are like, are we going to get paid? Like, they don't know. And but then, so they're putting out this rhetoric of, we're getting rid of grants and loans and things like that. So then you have students who are like, wait a minute, my financial aid is supposed to be dispersed this week. Is it not going there? Now they're saying no. They're saying that's fine. You're going to have your money, but it's not clear.
It's not. Do you get money this quarter? But you got to worry about next semester?
You have an echo for me. I don't know why.
Do I?
Weird. I don't know. Does he sound like he has an echo, y'all? Put a 2 in the chat and I'll just get rid of him. I'll take him out right now. Like, we don't need him.
Wow. Just like that.
No, you're like, maybe
am I doubling up?
But I don't know. Yeah, you just stop talking. No echo for you? Oh, it's just me?
It's just you.
Maybe I'm the problem?
Okay. You're the drama.
All right. Well, okay, well. So there was confusion there.
For keeping me on the show.
But I know that like NIH, other kind of federal funding for research grants and things like that, people were getting meetings, they were canceling all these projects. I mean, I'm seeing in some of the group chats I'm in, people had like projects that were about to launch this year that are federally funded through grants. They're like, we can't use this money. And so I want to make sure that people understand what it breaks down to is people not getting paid, right? It's not like they're taking $6 million and they're just throwing it at researchers and here, whatever do you do? No, that money gets allotted so that people can get paid every 2 weeks or every month or however that is. People have health insurance and all those things because they go and they work on these scientific projects and these research projects that many people will be like, oh, we don't need that. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
You can't stop them mid-project.
Right. Not the people in my chat, but you niggas are dumb. Like I'm sorry. Like you need smart people to do research.
Right.
You know, like.
Right. We're in the middle of
research, right, Dr. H? I've done research. That's how we became doctors.
Right. We're in the middle of a bird flu epidemic. We got tuberculosis out there. Like we got a lot of things happening out in the world that you need people actively researching solutions to and dispensing information about. And what he did almost immediately was shut down the pipeline to the money and to the conversations themselves. Yes, Medicaid has been impacted, even though they said this didn't affect Medicaid. Actually, if we're looking right at it, it says it doesn't affect Medicare and Social Security. But what people don't understand about Medicaid is it is paid by federal money that is distributed to the states. And if you're saying shut down all federal money and review your programs, you're essentially putting everyone on notice, which means they're going to shut down Medicaid too. And one of the things that most people don't know is like in the mental health field, we've already gone through like 2 or 3 cyber attacks in the past few years that affected one of the major pay distributors. So a lot of mental health practitioners are going to be negatively affected in the next maybe 90 days, whatever. Right now, a lot of mental health practitioners are worried. I'm pretty sure medical practitioners are worried. People who accept Medicaid are worried. Are we going to be able to feed our families, pay our mortgage, whatnot in the next couple of months if we depend heavily on these dollars? There are so many programs that depend on federal dollars, nonprofit programs, for, once again, the people here at the bottom, the largest part of the pyramid, who are now being shut off completely.
I had to take my my AirPods out because it was the AirPods that was causing the echo, and it's really starting to piss me off. So
it wasn't me.
And I'm gonna have to like mute when you talk so that there isn't an echo. So if you just stop talking. Okay. So there's that. I'm thinking, I'm a professor, and the overwhelming majority of my class, the one that I taught today, I would say a good 90% of my students are immigrants. Either they came here as immigrants or they're first generation, and their parents were maybe precarious situation, immigration status, right? And so I'm thinking about these ICE raids, and this is a segue, right? Partly a segue, let's pause. But I'm also thinking about the loans and things like that, like just making sure like that they can get their money so they can stay in school at least for this semester. Like this is a very real thing. And I know that a lot of people don't think much about what professors deal with or whatever, but I stood in front of my class today and I looked at them and I said, I will not let ICE in this door. They will have to go through me to get to you. And I recently rewatched Sarafina, the film. It is one of my favorite Broadway shows. And I rewatched it and I was really thinking about the teacher and her all of this, right? And how she was supporting her students. She was ready for the revolution. I feel like that is kind of my place right now. And I know that there are others who are, my colleagues are like that as well. Like many of us are down for revolution. And I'm like, yo, I got to protect my students for real, for real. What do you think, Dr. Hall? Why'd you mute yourself? This is what I'm talking about. Like you were
told me not to speak
for the moment.
And it's your show. So I made sure I was not interrupting you. I thought I was.
Put a 1 in the chat if he should stay. Put a 2 in the chat if he should go, because I'm actually kind of tired of this shit right now. Like
I agree with you that it is going to negatively affect. Like I got word from my old campus, Miami University, and They said that there were federal officers on campus. And I know in my work as a counselor in the past, there were many students, international students, immigrant students who were actively pursuing an education. They're here to do the thing, right? The dreamers, the people who are here to make the most out of America, and for who are enjoying. Right. Thank you. Shout out to the purple vest. Thank you very much. Who are here to fulfill the dream of America and to contribute to America. And yet, why would you, if you're worried about criminals, truly, right? If his rhetoric is often the criminals who are coming to murder, steal, and kill, then why would you be on a college campus at all? Why would you need to be in a school, right? These are people who are trying to be good citizens, and to terrorize them, to treat them as if they are criminal. I mean, once again, as Black people, we know what that feels like, right? The idea that at any moment the law could come down on us in an inappropriate or authoritative way. But to put those people through that, it's cruel in ways that I it's hard to fathom.
You know how we often say the cruelty is the point. I think that people really need to start thinking that way. Stop making it economic and political, although we know that those are things there. We have to maybe start to accept that these are some really sadistic people who get together in private rooms and smoke cigars and drink whiskey and play fucking Russian roulette and Battleship and Stratego and Risk with our lives. And it's fun for them. And the only reason why I think that way, and guys, I don't have my tinfoil hat. I'm going to make one for the next one.
You should totally make one.
But I've seen movies like Hostel, right? I have seen and read about the depravity of wealthy men. Like, if we think about slavery, right? Like the really vile, grotesque things they did to enslaved people, enslaved children, right? Just for their own pleasure. It's in their fucking DNA to be like this. And so what if this is all a fucking game for the wealthiest people, and they just get together? This is just a big game of goddamn Battleship for them. Like, I'm just saying, imagine the tinfoil hat here. But hey, guys, in 2016, when I was saying all this shit was going to happen, I said that eggs were going to be $15. People said I was crazy. I asked people, I said, what are you going to do when eggs are $15 and a loaf of bread is $20 and you can't, feed your family? What are you going to do when there's a bank holiday? You guys, make sure you have money in your house, please. If you have money, and then again, I'm not trying to be elitist or privileged, but if you have money in the bank, make sure you take some of that out and make sure you have it in your house. Because a bank holiday means you can't go to the freaking ATM or the bank to get your money out. And I believe that they will do that because they can, first of all. But the economic turmoil we're about to be in, hey, we have a docket, because I could do this all day. We have a docket. Let's move along. A docket that you didn't read.
Well, you said it to
speaking
me
of which, well, okay.
Sorry, I apologize.
Put it just a 2 in the chat just to remind him of his place, people.
Wow.
DeepSeek.
DeepSeek.
Let's talk.
Let's talk AI.
Let's talk AI.
I'm here.
What do you understand about DeepSeek,
Thanks, Charlie?
I think you let me know.
Yes.
That there was a cyber attack on it. Can we give the people some background? What do you understand about DeepSeek?
So let's start with DeepSeek. DeepSeek is China's attempt at building AI. So America wanted to be at the top of the AI game. So they limited giving out the best of the best chip microchips through Nvidia. And they've been asking for copious amounts of money. Like, it is the newest, like, in that way that they threw a lot of money at Bitcoin and it disappeared. They've been throwing a lot of money at AI in the hopes that America could stay at the top of the AI game and shut everybody out because we're the best and we're the brightest, even though most of the people who work on it are here on H-1 visas, whatever. So we've developed these AI role models, and then China shows up at the, out of nowhere and says, we didn't have the best of the brightest chips. We've worked on developing a much more efficient model for running these on older chips. And rather than it costing hundreds of billions of dollars, we're doing it for like 3 million. So in the time that you've spent 100 million, we've spent 3. We've trained our model. And not only have we trained a model that's cheaper, we're just going to give it away. We're not going to make it proprietary and make everybody pay into it. Anybody who's messed around with AI will know, like, all of them have subscription fees, and they're just like leading people just to try it out, even though it's not even, the best of the best yet. And they charge you to use it more than 3 times. But now China was like, go ahead, just try it out, see what happens. And immediately, within a day of the announcement that DeepSeek was a real thing that was causing problems in the industry, Navita, stock tanked, the American GDP dropped. Like, suddenly, it was like all this smoke they had been blowing around AI evaporated. And the country was like, oh, shit, what does this mean? Because we thought we were the best of the best. And what we forgot is China's really good at the long game and putting their heads down and doing math. Like, they built a society.
First of all, Chinese are smarter than us.
Right.
America's one of the stupidest nations on the freaking planet. Like, we're just not we, because I'm smart. You're smart. Yeah. People in the chat are smart.
Relatively.
Most of us.
Yeah.
But China's smart.
Killing the game.
Killing. They speak better English than Americans.
Oh.
We're going to put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Way better educated.
As a group.
As a group, as a collective.
I thought I heard that Asian men were the most educated demographic.
Yes, actually, Asian men have 4 times as many PhDs in the United States as white men, who are their next competitors. And Asian women have nearly twice as many as, or 3 times as many, actually, as white women. Americans are not smart. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
America's one.
So they had the cyber attack, right? Wasn't there a cyber attack on there?
Within a day, they dropped DeepSeek. People could download it. Immediately was a cyber. Somehow, some ways, there was a cyber attack on DeepSeek that limited the number of people who could subscribe to it. It's almost as if there was a vested interest by some party who was really smart at hacking in computers to slow down the growth of this thing that might threaten American industry. Like,
so was it CIA or Silicon Valley?
Right. Which one decided they were going to throttle this thing? Because
was it the CIA?
Because you needed to immediately reduce the confidence that Americans would develop in this thing. Because America also loves cheap. We love cheap and easy. And you just told us we could do it for cheap and easy? Absolutely.
Did you see that clip where Altman was talking? There was an Indian guy in the audience, and he was basically like, what can we Indian folks, Indian engineers do? Like, say we have $10 million, how can we go about building something like that? That Mickey Ficky gonna sit there and say, honestly, there's nothing you can do. We run this. Well, now you actually don't. You look kind of stupid.
Right. Right.
So the CIA, Silicon Valley, probably united to shut that down.
It's likely a targeted attack on this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that and on this show we believe in targeted attacks.
Oh yeah. I've been in this country long enough.
You know what? This is a great question. Is it wise to leave the country right now? Sure. If you're leaving permanently.
If you have the money and
if you can get the hell out, please.
If you've already been working on the visa process, I would say get out sooner than later, because he is going to affect the visa process. He has done it before. And what ended up happening last time, if we recall, is because he affected the confidence that other countries have in America, it was so much harder to say you want to go somewhere unless you, like, if you're leaving and you don't have a job on the other side, like, there are certain countries who are going to not want Americans pretty quickly because they're going to know why we're leaving.
Right. And they're all going to treat us like our folks treated them.
Right. Absolutely. As they should.
Trump, Biden, Obama.
Yeah.
They all treated.
It's earned. Yeah.
Yeah. And so those of us who ain't had shit to die and vote for, all of us who had nothing to do with this will suffer the same way other people in other nations have suffered because the
Mm-hmm.
United States wanted to target a certain person or a certain group
Yep.
and indiscriminately drop bombs and kill children all
Mm,
across the Middle East.
mm,
Thanks,
mm,
Obama.
mm.
So I'm not even mad. Like, again, first of all, I'm not trying to move to no fucking crack ass country anyway. So I'm thinking, you know, somewhere on the continent of Africa, a couple of countries have said, hey, come back.
Mm-hmm.
I have Panamanian connection. I'm trying to see, can I get that birthright citizenship? Something.
Yeah.
Because, all right. All right. So Trump also is firing federal workers, kind of forcing people to quit, right? So the news behind
Mm-hmm.
this is that basically, like, the rumors were saying that Trump is trying to get rid of people who don't align with him. And am I moving like kind of staccato? Like,
A little
it's
bit.
slow
Yeah,
on
my
my
side. It
side,
looks
a
like it
little
is.
bit.
Yeah.
Oh God, how do I get?
That's not me. I can't be blamed for this. I thought it was my internet that was affecting my view of you, but it might be your. I don't know.
No, I think it's me.
Lagging. Yes, Charlie says you're lagging.
Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Let me leave and come back. Okay, can you hold it
Wait,
down?
where do I go? Okay, sure. Hold it down.
Okay.
So one of the things that's definitely right out of the fascist playbook is that Trump is already not just appointing the people into offices that are supposed to be there, right? Like some jobs he has to fill because he's the new president, but he's also now trying to outright fire people and essentially clear the deck, which is so weird because some of the people he's trying to clear out are people he appointed when he was last there. So they're people that were appointed under the auspices of doing certain jobs, just like some of these inspectors general, don't say yes, that he appointed them. They've been in the job for the 4+ years since he was there. He's now saying, get out of the job. And what I do have to appreciate is that some of them have stood up to him. Some of them have said they're not going to leave. Some members of Congress have said that they are going to fight him putting them out. But what he's doing now is giving people the opportunity to leave and offered them a date, which is in the docket, which I didn't read. But it's just, once again, and I said this before for those who've seen me on the show before, it's the fact that
It was February 6th.
February
Damn.
6th. Thank you. Sorry. February 6th is the date he's given them to leave, which is a couple weeks or literally next week, which is, once again, you got to be a bad leader to know what this would do to people's families, right? You just got to leave your job in a week and you get a week's notice. But it's been baffling to me how I know he is a bad leader. I know that he's a bad boss who is completely apathetic to your condition, completely apathetic to the consequences of his actions. Somebody said it in the chat earlier. He's not a guy who pays his bills. So the idea that he would shut off all funding is very on brand with who he's been throughout his real estate career. He doesn't pay his invoices. That's who he is. And so the idea that he would just say some of these jobs are going to go away, you are just going to be summarily fired without warning. And what's most annoying about this is the press is going to do the fake job of asking, why did he do it? Why did he fire this person? Knowing he doesn't really have answers for this. A lot of this is, in my own opinion, my own tinfoil hat opinion is, a lot of this is like puppetry. Like he's just doing
It's
what they
political
say.
theater.
Right. And we all know Trump was the apprentice. So now he's just got a lot more advisors who knew going in that if he won this time, we should have a set agenda, do a bunch of stuff. Doing the stuff is going to make his base feel like he's doing what he said he would do. And we'll get the results we want. So thank you, Heritage Foundation. Fuck you, Heritage Foundation.
Ooh, that's strong language coming from you, Doc.
I mean, I'm just saying.
You're in the moment.
I was going.
So, chat, the truth was I had too much shit open.
Too many tabs open, Dr. T's.
No, I had like 4 different windows with like 20 tabs each. All running the same things.
Like any true ADHDer.
And I had to close everything. Every application on my computer was open, so I had to quit all of them.
It's almost
so
as
hopefully
if you're not running a show.
Hopefully I'm back, right? Okay.
You are back.
So I often tweet a post, I'll say fascism says what? because I want people to see very clear examples of, fascism. When the commander-in-chief, when the president of the United States, as they say, the leader of the so-called free world, basically takes the position, I do not want anyone working here who does not pledge fealty to me. Hitler did that. Yeah. Stalin did that. Mussolini, these are
what you do. I mean, that's how you do a good fascism. You want to do a good fascism. You want to do it right. Fascism.
And I just think that it's really, really, really interesting, because those of us that paid attention in history class, if we had the benefit of having a decent history education in American schools, for those of us who paid attention, what we understand is that there's always steps. There's always things that lead up to this, right? This is not anything we haven't seen before. In fact, we've seen it several times. In fact, we actually have the playbook. In fact, there are thousands of books written just about Adolf Hitler's rise to power.
Yep.
Mussolini's rise to power, Stalin's rise to power, Leopold, all this shit, like all these people who have acted in this way.
You mean history to learn from? Learn. Read.
And I'm just, I've said this a number of times, folks. The stupidity of all of this is what's getting to me. Like, I have to say this, and I know some people will not agree. I can understand. I'm not going to say respect. I can understand a twisted, maniacal plot that's smart. At least be rooted in intelligence. At least you're not going on national television and international television and saying that the United States is the only country that grants birthright citizenship. He has said this several times, and no one is telling the emperor that he's naked. They're all just standing there. And so there's like these theories that are like, that he's going to get Caesared, right? But it's like, by who? Who stabs him? Is it JD Vance? Like, who's behind that? Because if he's going to get Caesared, right, that means that there's, they're planning a freaking coup.
Well.
And are they letting him spin out right now to show all of this ridiculous shit so that they can come and say, hey, he's crazy. You got to 25 him. Right? Because what is the end game? I would, if I could at least see an intelligent end game, then I could be like, all right.
Control and power.
Control and power. I get it, Dr. Hall. I do. But to me, control and power is easy. You buy that.
Yeah.
Elon bought it. Mark bought it. Jeff bought it.
You should be able to have enough.
But what comes after control and power? When you destroy all the people and you don't have anyone to have power over. What do you have power over?
You think they're thinking about that? Like, you don't
become, what I'm saying.
You don't become a Bezos, right? You don't build billion-dollar industry because you're thinking of what's next, right? Like, maybe I go to the moon or something. But like, I just want to attain.
Oh my God.
I just want to keep attaining.
Why do we have such a messy chat?
You've curated an audience.
They always got something really messy.
You've curated a particular type of audience.
Ryan said that Barron kills small. Oh my God.
No.
I don't know. Was I supposed to put that on there?
Grew Trump, yes.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, I have seen people saying that they're letting him kind of spin out. They're kind of letting him crash out.
So the part that I'm probably in disagreement about is I don't think his base thinks he's spinning out. I think they genuinely think he's doing what he's supposed to do.
I don't mean his base. No, I mean the people around. Like, I think the higher up folks, like the folks who bought the country, they don't want him there. I think they'd rather work with a JD Vance. I think last time it was supposed to be Mike Pence, right?
I think he's such a populist. He's a really good smokescreen for whatever you want to do.
He is, but that's what I'm saying. Smoke screen, right? Yeah. And that's cool. The base is revved up. That's only going to last for so long when their bellies are touching, when their ribs are touching and they're hungry.
You could just tell them
they can't rely on
brown
that.
People are the ones. I mean, it's an age-old playbook. You can just tell them the brown people are stealing your food.
I don't know if they're going to believe it this time because so many of them don't even live anywhere near the brown people.
And
they have no interaction.
Most of them ain't met a trans person. But guess what? How dare one try to use my bathroom? right? Like, it's not about logic. It's not about reason. It's about what it makes you feel deep down in the inside to know there's an other who is coming to take what you have.
I'm going to agree with Brittany here. I got to go with Brittany here. Peter Thiel, one of the people who bought the country.
And bought JD Vance. Yeah.
JD Vance is his guy. That's his protege. He was able to plant his protege as vice president, right? And so I think that's why I think, because he's young, he's
they're building him up for the next. He's getting the next go round.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that they get rid of Trump, and then he becomes the guy. And they set into, they put in place, based on Trump's popularity, right? They can get the people to support it if Trump is the voice of it, right? They don't really care about JD Vance. He's got an Indian wife. They hate him for that, right? So it's not that. They got to get as much as they can. This whole thing of trying to go for 3 terms, this whole thing, the president being 3 terms, all these things they're trying to push right now with Trump as the face riles up the base. And I think that's what they're trying to do, get as much as possible, and then get rid of him because he's their scapegoat. And then they install JD, who's the commander that they really want.
Yeah,
right?
And I
refer to him as the commander.
The letter. He will.
I refer to him as the commander, as a throw to Handmaid's Tale, right? Because that's kind of what we're doing. Yes, I agree, Charlie. Vance will restore their image while also leading us back to a Christian nation, right? Because Trump is so reckless and so unreliable
and hard to control.
To control if he picks up on it. If he catches any wind, they're all gone. That's what he did the first time. He got rid of anyone that he perceived as a threat to him. So I'm just wondering if that's what happens this time. You don't look like you understand or agree with me. And that's okay. We can disagree.
I don't disagree with you. I agree.
No, I think we can disagree. It's okay. Maybe it's all those things.
Maybe it's both. Maybe there are people who are reveling in what he gets to do and that recklessness that he uses to hide agendas, right? Because you can hide any agenda behind what he's doing, but you can't. JD Vance is a good cleanup man because you can throw him up there. He'll be an empty suit and do and say whatever you want. So I don't think you're wrong. I think there are people who are okay with him being how he is, for sure.
Okay. No, I 100%. 100%. And even within the administration, right? Again, I think he serves a purpose right now. He's a face of a movement. They really are drawn to him for his personality, and he reminds them of their uncle and their old grandpa. We get that.
He's just like your old racist grandpa. Yeah.
He has utility right now.
Yeah.
But I believe that's going to wear out, Dr. Hall, as soon as people start.
When things start really falling down.
And it's about to start because he's cutting off SNAP, right? Well, they said not to individuals, but they're cutting off aid to the states, and they distribute these, they're going to cut that off.
Yeah.
And the prices are soaring. Once people get evicted, when they don't get those landlords don't get those payments, they start evicting people.
Section 8.
Right?
Yep.
When all those things happen and people are hungry, I'm sorry, and a lot of people don't believe me, but I ain't been wrong yet.
So I don't see
them get. I don't see them.
I think one of the things you're forgetting is they've been socialized to hate each other, right? To hate us, to hate amongst ourselves, and not to. We could be mad at him, but you can't get to him. So a lot more people are going to just fight amongst themselves. I mean, I think for me, the conspiracy is closer to civil war than attack the president, right? Even though, we outnumber them, you can't get us to mobilize in that way because his base in particular has been trained to fight us, right? There's so much division amongst Democrats and Republicans and the LGBTQ community. Like, all these communities are used as a smokescreen so that you don't look to each other and say, we are all suffering, we're all hungry.
Right. No, I'm with you on that. I'm just speaking as the formerly hungry homeless person.
Yeah.
Like, again, when your ribs is touching, you willing to do anything to survive. And I feel like that's going to happen at some point. I just want to take a moment real quick. Just thank you. There's some folks who sent me some Cash Apps and some Venmos. I want to thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Absolutely. That is literally how I feed my son. who is 18 and 250 pounds, and he
going to
eats
college
two breakfasts, two lunch, two dinners.
Mm-hmm.
I want real quick, Aisha, where are you from? You know, we don't want you freaking out. Like, let's talk, Aisha.
Yeah.
How can we like support you in this moment? I understand there's so much fear.
Yes.
And Dr. Hall, I think like we need to kind of maybe address that, because I feel like people are
all over,
freaking out.
Right.
They're all over. I woke up with anxiety this morning, and y'all know I'm ready for the revolution, but even I was just kind of like, this might be too much.
Yeah.
Too soon, you know. And I know that that's the goal, is to overwhelm us. So how do we, like, as community, support folks like Aisha and others who are just like, they're kind of losing it?
Yeah, no, I've been thinking a lot about how we got through the 2016 into the pandemic, where it was honestly the worst. Society really kind of broke down during the pandemic, in part because of, once again, this poor leadership. And one of the things that I remember that I did and that I encourage a lot of people to do is the forming of community. So finding people who are like you, who understand your perspective, who are sympathetic, empathetic, who you can connect with and talk with and share some of these feelings. But try not to get stuck in the cycle of fear and anxiety about it, but instead move those conversations towards activism, towards emotional support, towards cooperative economics, all those things that can help you feel like there is purpose. I've been telling a lot of people to find one thing they can focus on and give that energy to that one thing, rather than in a situation like this where there feels like there were 7, 8 things coming at you at once. Like, what's the one thing? If you want to work on homelessness and it's always been your passion, aim towards that, because there's going to be a lot of need in that world. Mine is mental health. So while I'd love to do more work on legislation, mental health is the thing I need to do, because that's what I'm good at. So what are your strengths? What can you add to the fight? And how can you get with people who are also doing the fight from their angle, so you can work together to move these agendas? Like, I really feel like this is a time to start building coalitions around these issues and working together to support each other and to provide each other the community that we're going to need as these changes come. Because, like I said, Elon, he can tighten his belt and still have millions in the tank, right? But for the rest of us, you know, if you got extra potatoes, why are you holding on to them? Pass them to someone who needs them, right? If you're going to Costco, start working cooperatively with people who might need the extra rolls of toilet paper that you know, that you care about, that you can connect with.
So I love this space, because fuck the docket. We can talk about them all the time, but we can also help people.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great question. I've actually done workshops on this in communities that are distressed. And so a few things that I want you to think of, and you all can add some in the chat as well. A charger, a multi-port charger. Charger. Because you're gonna need, and I'm gonna recommend that you get a solar one. So I have one. I had gotten it from Home Depot. Whatever. I had gotten it from Home Depot. I'm a camping girly, so actually you can go to REI, because REI has them as well. I'm a camping girly, so I got one. It's a solar one. It's about this big, and the whole front panel, you sit it out in the sun, you got like 3 days of like energy or whatever. And it has all kinds of USB ports, USB-A, USB-C, other things that you can plug in, and a regular outlet as well, so you can put your charger in. Get one of those, because energy, and because we're so digitally connected, we are going to need energy, and let's use the sun to power us through this, right? So get a solar powered energy pack that you can have that stuff. You want 3 bottles of water for every adult and child in your home. Okay. So you want to make sure, and then you got to, folks, go back and check your go bags too. Like every 6 months, you got to kind of like re-up on things. Make sure you have at least 3 bottles of water for every person in your home. Okay. I don't know what you all have, but right under my desk next to my gun is this case I have. These are all my most important documents. It's a convenient case. I can just pick it up and go. It's pretty strong, actually. Not fireproof, but it's pretty strong. And this has every important document that I need. This is birth certificates, social security card, passports. I actually even have tons of foreign currency, because I'm about that life. Like, look at all, this is my foreign currency. I've got tons of currency in there. including United States currency. So put cash in there. Please have cash in there, okay? Because what's going to happen when all the electricity shuts down or the ATMs are not working or whatever? So have all your documents. Get a file cabinet where you put all of your documents. Flashlights, yes.
Multi-tool. Have a multi-tool.
Yes. So you like the multi-tools. Yes, for sure. Have multi-tools on there if you can grab one. Flashlights are always good. I think also lighters. Keep
lighters.
Like 2 or 3 lighters.
Yes. Electric lighter is great, but also just a regular Bic.
Yeah, and the ones that you would like the grill with, get some of those. Yes. And even get a box of the matches. Yes. Because fire is going to keep you warm, right? Yep. So we can start, as long as you can start fire anywhere. Yep.
Tea candles. Tea candles are great.
Tea candles are also great, but I don't know if they're necessarily necessary for the go bag, but it could be helpful. If you're putting one together, if you've got a bag that you're willing to carry, you're going to put all this stuff in, definitely do that. I would say, for me, this is me, several pairs of underwear, like bras, things like that I can change out in case I'm not able to get to a shower. At least I could try to change my underwear because the last thing I need is crotch rot. So we don't want that.
Baby wipes.
I would think medicines. If you are somebody who takes daily medications, particularly mental health medications and blood pressure and diabetes and things like that, one, see if you can get your doctors to give you a 3 months advance. And what I would say, if you are someone who can get them 3 months in advance, put 1 month in your go bag until you get to that point where you need to use it. And then you do the same thing every 3 months, you do the same cycle. Yeah. So
I think it's a good idea. Knowing what happened to infrastructure before, if you can get your doctor to get you 3 months of your medication, that might be a good thing to start thinking about.
Just in general. Yeah.
We've had breakdowns in the infrastructure around medications and food. In the past, when he was president, I think it's a valuable thing to be thinking about stockpiling in certain ways.
Yes, absolutely. Spare set of car keys, spare set of house keys. Okay. Because sometimes in the last minute, it's like, where's my keys? Where's my car? I know me. Sometimes I leave my car keys in the car. Unfortunately, don't tell nobody. Sometimes I leave it in my coat pocket, wherever. It could be here in the office. Put an extra car key in there, put your extra house keys in there. And make sure you have your documents for everybody in your family. So we're seeing what we're seeing in the chat. Let's see what the folks in the chat are saying. I would say seeds. So here's the thing. I'm very much an apocalyptic kind of person. I'm thinking the end of the world, kind of what's on the other side of that. If you can start stocking up on survival seeds, I hate to say Amazon and other people, there are Black women that sell seeds. There's a Black women seed account on Instagram, but buy survival seeds, something that we can plant on the other side to bring food back. Collard greens grow fast. Cauliflower, broccoli, string beans, tomatoes, garlic, corn is actually quite easy to grow. I just discovered that. Plant it right next to the beans. Things like that. Things that are sustainable. Things that we can use for other things. Potatoes are very, very easy to grow. So get potato seeds. Just thinking about things like, you should grow them from spuds, but things like that. Don't forget your pets, okay? Because pet care is important. I have 4 cats. Pet care is super, super important. So put some food in there for the cats, like maybe a few cans of food, to hold the babies for like 3 or 4 days. Some kind of like bags and, dry food if you need to, wet food, things like that. Baby wipes. Yes, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Glucose tablets. Anything, tampons, definitely. Any like personal hygiene things that, that you may use. I'm a fan of survival kits. So my car is decked out thanks to my loving boyfriend who, when I got my new car, he bought me a bunch of things. He's a pretty good guy. And he bought me, one of my survival kits that I like to have. It has an electric blanket in it. It's got glow lights, flares, all kinds of great things. Make sure, and also right now is a really good time. I know that money is tight, y'all, but please try to make sure when you park your car at night, you have at least a half a tank of gas. Okay. Yes. A water filter. Yes. Thank you so much for saying that. Water filters. that you can get the tube filters. You get a cup like this with some water. You can put the tube in. It'll filter. You drink through the straw. It'll filter it. So whatever water source you can get, that technology is amazing. Do that because you have to be able to drink water. We may have to cut our food back a little bit, but they have emergency food kits. A map. Please, y'all, get an old school map. You have to act like this doesn't work. Act like this doesn't work. Okay. So everything that you think of that you have on your phone or your tablet that you use for convenience, get the analog version of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might need to pull out an old atlas.
Yes. And I'm so glad that my dad taught me how to read a map, because I remember getting stuck in Western Pennsylvania during a snowstorm with my baby in the back of the car. And that those are sundown towns out there. And I had to actually use a map to find where I was going because there was no GPS up there. So please, please, please. Somebody said travel size lotion and toiletries. Yes. Just like you're going on, I would pack it like I pack a carry-on for the plane, right? Really think about that. And then you got to check it, every few months, make sure that you're doing that. Yes, ice packs that can be broken, and the heat warmers, like hand warmers, and I was just at Rite Aid and they were selling them for 70 cents a pack or something, or you could buy the multi-pack. Go to REI. REI is really great, or any kind of outdoor store like that is really great for a lot of these things. If you are somebody who carries, please pack a firearm safely. Pack a firearm. You can carry it in a case. You want to maybe carry it in a case like this. Okay, have it in a case so that you can grab it. Keep it near your go bag. You're gonna have your firearm, and make sure that you have ammo in your case. Also, be careful because in some states, I know for us, we can't have the gun. We can't have a loaded gun in the car. And if we do have the gun in the car, it has to be separate from the ammo. So the gun has to be in the trunk and the ammo has to be in your console or something. Please follow those rules. Don't give them any reason to kill you.
Don't give them any reason to.
I know being Black is one of them, but at least we could say the white people, maybe some Asian folks and some Native, maybe, And batteries, yes, great one, Katie. And this is also a good one. Please write the name and contact numbers on paper, out on paper, in case you can't access them in your phone. If you know someone you trust with access to a landline, write that number as well, in case it's the only way. That's one of the things that has happened to us. We no longer remember phone numbers. The last phone number I memorized was my mama's, and it was 718-364-8320. I remember that number. That's it. My mother's been dead for a long time, so if you call that number, I don't know who you're going to get. But I don't even know my son's phone number. Oh, wait, I know my daddy's number.
Hey, there you go. I don't remember any phone numbers. I remember my phone number and my business phone number because I got to get it out.
So maybe in your case that you get with your documents, maybe you have a sheet of all these contact numbers, phone numbers, things like that. Somebody said put it on Substack. No, people can come and watch this. It's okay. But yeah, but also you can go online and look, what should I put in my go bag? You know what I mean? We're having conversation here and we're thinking about this. But it's something that I want to make sure that we're thinking. Again, I was talking about this a long time ago. My biggest fear is not me running out of things, Dr. Hall. My biggest fear is Trump supporters showing up at my door, banging, demanding to come in and have access to what I have, which is what The Secret of Sugar Water is about, which published in 2017, folks. Just want to point it out that I predicted that this was going to happen in 2017. You don't have to buy the book if you don't want. If you want to support, it's cool. But that's what I'm afraid of, because I live down, there's a Confederate flag that way. There's Trump supporters right there, right? My next door neighbor's non-binary grandchild is a Trump supporter. They're Black. Okay. I don't know what he's capable of. They're capable, because he does do they. So I don't know what they're capable of. But a Black non-binary Trump supporter is not stable. It's not mentally stable. I'm sorry.
In the wake of the recent school shooting, it raises some issues.
Right.
Of who can you trust?
I'm going to be doing a deep dive on that as well. I'm probably going to write that one up on my Patreon. I'm doing a deep dive on Solomon because I don't understand. No, I understand, but whatever. Yeah. Trying to think. Oh. in your go back, I know you're probably not thinking about this, but something that makes you happy.
Yeah. Something that brings
Or
you joy.
something that distracts you. So a
Mm-hmm.
couple of books, maybe books that you could read.
Yeah.
Maybe your a tablet, a fully charged tablet that
Mm-hmm.
you could read, draw,
Yeah.
something that keeps you human.
Deck of cards, maybe.
Deck of cards so that people can play games. Just
Mm-hmm.
something like maybe your Switch, if your Switch is portable.
Mm-hmm.
I think as somebody who survived a fire, like what did I want after that? And all I wanted at the time was my Cabbage Patch Kids. And they
Yeah.
were gone. Lost all the Cabbage
Oh,
Patch Kids, but
sorry.
all I wanted was my Cabbage Patch Kids. I think tarot cards. If you're religious, a Bible, a Quran, something that reminds you of your humanity, something that gives you something other than the fear of running away.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, Colombia. I just want to really quickly touch on Gustavo Petro. His tweets. He was on X. Okay, so here's what happened. So I know that was a hard pivot, y'all, but look, we gotta go soon. We gotta go soon. It's been over an hour. How long have we been? An hour and 5 minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the United States, somebody said old school photo album with family photos. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people said photos on Instagram. Absolutely. Yeah. You don't want to lose memories. I am someone who takes tons of photos. I have tons of photos of myself around my house. I have a Leo moon. Why wouldn't I? So anyway, so Donald Trump has been deporting people, spending so much money. I remember reading that ICE spends about $82,000 per plane. He spent like 800 and something, 20,000 or something, 100,000 because he had used private jets, and all they did was deport 80 people. So it cost. They had like 3 planes, almost $1 million each. So he spent almost $3 million to deport 80 people. As a part of his political theater, as a part of his grandstanding. It was giving George W. Bush mission accomplished.
Yes.
It was giving that, right? A total waste of money.
How much healthcare could you have bought for your base for that same amount of money?
I mean, where was Elon Musk, with his Department of Government Efficiency? Right. They want to know what all the spending is. So all of that was like, it was political theater. But what happened was he sent a plane to Colombia, and the people were handcuffed. They were shackled. They were hungry. They hadn't had water. And Gustavo Petro was like, no, this is not what we do. And a lot of people were like misconstruing it. It wasn't that he was trying to like turn people away. It was like, you're not going to do this again. If these are people that are from Colombia, you are not going to do this again.
Right.
You're not going to send our people back here shackled up, thirsty and starving like this. Not when you spent almost $1 million to do it.
Right.
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 So Trump says, in response, because he doesn't like hearing no. Trump is like, what did he say? He said he was going to put
tariffs and
what was the tariff though? It was sanctions. It was 20% or something, like 25% tariff or something like that. It was a hefty tariff. He said he was going to have a hefty tariff on Colombian imports and things like that. So here's the thing: what do we get from Colombia?
Corn,
cafe. We get coffee. We get roses, floras. We get 70% of our cut flowers come from Colombia.
25% tariffs. 25% tariffs.
25% tariffs. Okay. 70% of our cut flowers come from Colombia. And Valentine's Day is in 2 weeks. Right? I hope my boyfriend gets me something for Valentine's Day. That's all. I just want to put that out there to the universe. If you're listening, babe, I would like something for Valentine's Day. Anyway, there's a bunch of things we get from them. What else do we get from Colombia? That good, clean, pure, fine Colombian white. Ain't no booger sugar like Colombian booger sugar. Okay? Mira.
That's the good stuff.
It is the finest cocaína. En todo el mundo. Okay. Also, oil. oil. A lot of produce. Somebody says so much produce. Yeah, we get a lot from Colombia. And somebody asked, what do we export? I said passport bros.
Oh.
I know. Yo sé.
You're not sorry.
Lo siento. Sí, lo siento. I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, your man Gustavo. Oh my God, I think we're on a first name basis.
You are now.
Gustavo respond. He said, Trump, a mí no me gusta mucho viajar a los EEUU. Es un poco aburridor. Pero confieso que hay cosas meritorias. Me gusta ir a los barrios negros de Washington. Ahí vi una lucha entera en la capital de los EEUU entre negros y latinos con barricadas que me por eso I can't even read. Pareció una pendejada porque deberían unirse. So basically, that was my favorite part anyway. So he basically said, nigga, I don't even like coming to the United States. I come to the U.S. I like hanging out in the barrios and then black and brown neighborhoods. Okay. He's like, I don't really fuck with y'all. He goes on to mention other people that he like. He said, no me gusta su petroleo. He doesn't like our oil. Okay. He says, I don't even need your oil. Like, he said one day, he's like, when we have some whiskey, you're gonna I'm sorry, this is really funny. Anyway, he says, I confess, I like Walt Whitman and Paul Simon and Noam Chomsky. I like those people. They cool, but the U.S. is boring. Okay, that's what he said. For those who don't understand Spanish, poco aburridor. It's a little bit boring. Y'all ain't got nothing. And then he goes on, he's like, but my country, Colombia, is beautiful. One of the most beautiful countries in the world. Our people are amazing. All these things. And he goes into all of that. And he really said, he was like, and basically was sending us a message like, Black people, Latinos, come on, let's unite. Because Colombia has a strong Black population as well. Like he understands. I believe vice presidents, I think their last two vice presidents that may have been Black women, feminist Black women. I'm not sure. Somebody let me know. So
open to the entire world.
It was a whole screed, actually. And I'm going to actually show you all how long that was because it's actually hilarious to me how long he wrote this whole thing. So look, Mira. Yeah. Look at this. It's a whole lot. Now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And he's like, you don't like our freedom. You don't like what we're doing. Like, look at this. That was a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot. And basically he told the United States to suck a dick, eat a dick. And that was really to Trump. And he was just like, look, I've been tortured. I've been through that. There's nothing you could do to me, son. I'm going to say what I'm saying. And so people like the right is framing it like, oh, he caved because he accepted them. It wasn't that he caved. He was going to accept it. He was just like, I'm not accepting this anymore. So he came back and basically said that he was going to put 50% tariffs on us. It's not, but again, it's not that he relented. Dana, I would understand. He was like, I'm not accepting you sending our people over shackled like this.
Right.
It's not it. And so it's cool. Yes, Francia is the first Afro Colombian. Thank you, Evelyn, for letting me know that. So, he called him raggedy and ratchet. That's what he said. He said you raggedy and you're ratchet.
He said your country ain't shit. You ain't shit.
Right. You ain't shit.
Yeah.
Our freedom does not rely on you. Like, we're good. We're good over here. And then who was the other one? De Peru. Am I wrong? Was it not Puerto Rico? It was Peru. The sister from Peru. Hold on. Let me see. I forgot. Hold on. I'm looking for the news. I forgot what she said. I saw it on like Instagram or something, but like she was also she was saying, was it the president? It was Honduras. Thank you, Evelyn. It was Honduras saying you can't, we're going to get rid of your military bases. Like, keep playing with us. We'll get rid of your military bases. And somebody told me that we have a really high level base there that we cannot afford to lose that ground. And she's basically saying, we're going to kick them out and get out. Get out. Don't play with us. We will get rid of all your military bases. And so what I just wanted to point that out, I thought that this is important that this is happening, is that resistance happens, right? And the people south of our border, the people in Central America, South America are saying, actually, no. Like, you know, all that shit with Venezuela, we have seen how y'all move. We've seen this. We're not remember when the brother from the president of Panama was like, you ain't taking this canal, my nigga, I'll fuck you up. That's basically what he said. I'm translating.
Right.
Essentially what he said is like, you're not taking this, my nigga, I will fuck you up. And then the dude in Greenland was like, fuck off. Like that, I mean, I don't know. That's colonizers, fighting over land that don't belong to none of them. But like, there's more and more leaders. There's more and more leaders that are saying, nah, we ain't about that life. And we don't care. Like, you can do what you want to do, but you're not going to play us over here. And so we have to think about leverage. You said what?
I said he's going to play the bully. And some people are going to tell him they don't want to be pushed around.
Right. The president of Mexico. Yeah, she did. She did. That's the one. Was she Jewish? I don't know. Her last name sounded Jewish. What is she? Yeah. So that's the other thing. Is like, you hear a lot of people, I'm not embarrassed. I would be embarrassed if I believed in fictive kinship, but I keep seeing a lot of Black women, first of all, claiming to be part of the 92%. And you all sound really fucking ridiculous when you talk about that 92% shit. I can say that, Dr. Hall, you can't say that. And then you're talking about, I'm minding my Black ass business. I'm resting. You been minding your business since you was born, because you ain't done shit. You ain't been part of no shit. You haven't organized shit. You haven't actively engaged in anything other than voting for Kamala or voting every 4 years. So I don't, I'm minding my Black business. I'm resting. I ain't doing nothing. Okay, well, guess what? They're coming after you too, because all they have to do is say that they suspect you're Dominican, suspect you're Colombian, suspect you're Cuban, suspect you're Panamanian, suspect you're Argentinian. Well, they won't suspect you're Argentinian because, they tried to wipe
shade of brown. Just be a shade of brown.
But you could be anything, and they'll accuse you. It doesn't matter. They'll arrest you. They'll round you up. You won't have time to get your papers. Because where's your paper? Because you don't have. Because you know what you don't have? You don't have one. Right? And you're not walking around with your birth certificate, because we shouldn't be walking around with freedom papers. Those days are over.
We are a country.
And so they'll round you up. And don't let them catch you on a Friday, because you in the holding cell till Monday. How about that? Don't get caught up on a Saturday. You in a holding cell until Monday.
Ignore the book. Please avoid the book.
I just noticed a couple of Cash Apps and Venmos came through. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I might give some to Dr. Hall. I don't know. Reparations for women. I don't.
You're fine.
You're not an official host yet.
Yeah, no. I'm provisional still.
Yeah. So
they're not sending it my way. They're sending it your way.
Thank you. And I just, I think about just kind of like how those divisions were sowed. I remember going to Belize, and I remember talking with some Garifuna people. My sister Evelyn is there. She is Garifuna as well. And they were talking about the history of how they came to be. And like the early Arawaks welcomed early Africans that had come over. And this was before the slave trade. And when they were bringing over new people, they were telling them that the Africans that were already there were cannibals. Stay away from them, that kind of things. Meanwhile, the Africans in the Arawak, I hope I'm saying the name Arawak, I don't mean to mispronounce, but they were building community, and they were intermingling and kind of building a new group of people. But they were being the new folks coming over, even though they were enslaved, even though they were captives, they were being told, do not trust them, because they're cannibals, they're savage, and things like that, already sowing that kind of division. And this was hundreds of years ago. So I need people to understand that is what white supremacy does. It sows division between the people that it colonizes. It will turn Asians against Black people. It will turn Black people against Latino, even though there are people who are all of those things, right? It'll turn natives against, anti-Blackness among Native Americans is out of this world. It's ridiculous. I don't care what any of you say. I fucks with you. I hear you. But no, like it's ridiculous. And so they will turn all of us against each other, because they know that they're the minority. They know that they're weak, right? And so when we talk about solidarity, We can always talk about solidarity, but the first thing that we need to do is to get rid of these prejudices and these, these walls that we have between us, and remember that it's white supremacy that poisons us against each other. Blackness is the strongest currency in the world. Everybody trades in it. We have to get rid of that. We have to let go of patriarchy, because patriarchy, all of that stuff, the religiosity with the colonizing, all of that is brainwashing. It's all brainwashing to turn us against each other.
Yeah.
I know I haven't let you talk much. What do you have to say, Dr. Hall?
I agree.
Have something to say by now. I was on my little rant.
Yeah. No, one of the best American imports has been, right? We've shifted all around the country, white supremacy and racism, right? And so all these other international entities and cultures have learned from America how to treat us and each other. And colonization did a number on the globe. And until we decide once again to form coalitions, to band together as community, it's going to be tough for us. We're going to have to work together. Because if they come for them, they're coming for us next. They just work down the line, because they always need an other to blame. I always say America likes to paint its ills in colors. It likes to point towards those of us who aren't cis, white, Protestant, and say we are the problem with America.
Somebody on Instagram said that the natives were being detained as well. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, which is insane, right? Like, if anybody has an entitlement to the country that you're standing on, it would likely be somebody from that cultural background. But
you know what?
Spend the weekend in jail.
I've seen Black Americans online justify deportations because birthright citizenship should be for descendants of slavery only. First of all, we are not descendants of slavery. Right? And I know that, and the reason why I'm pointing that's not at you, Dana. I'm pointing that out because that's how a lot of them people talk, right? The ADOS movement, that stupid ass, FBA, Foundational Black American, all of that nonsense. I don't mess with none of that. There's an extremely xenophobic movement amongst a particular sect of African Americans who want reparations, and they're justified in that. They point out the discrimination and all the things that Black people have been dealing with. I have definitely made the argument about affirmative action and how it was supposed to be for the descendants of those who were enslaved in chattel slavery. And yet these institutions are using it and their quotas to prioritize people not from this country. And that is something that we do need to talk about. It is not the issue of the first generation folks. It is not the issue of the immigrants, that they are doing that. Okay. They are setting up these systems that say, we're only going to take 5% of these Black people. We're only going to take this amount of these people. And then we're deciding that we're going to choose the immigrants because we've decided that they're a new model minority. I have told my West African folks, particularly my Nigerian folks, that you all are often looked at, outside of Trump, looked at as model minorities among Black people, right? And so the way the United States sets up its immigration policies and its quotas and things like that, it definitely creates tension, and it shouldn't be. There's a lot of things that we need to be talking about, but there's xenophobia. It's basically like Black America first. And it's like, no, that's actually not how this works. This is not our land. Like, you know what I mean? And this is not our land. And if you're not talking about giving land back, then you're really not about that life. It's like, well, where will we go? You know what? This world is vast. Okay.
Right.
If they could repatriate people in Liberia, right? If there were offers to send us down to Brazil, and several of our ancestors were sent to Brazil after emancipation. Like, there's other places that we can go, and I'm sure that there are places that will welcome us. But what we're not going to do is talk about and disrespect our immigrant family. We are not going to stand idly by and watch ICE come and detain them and steal them and take these children and sell them to white people. We're not going to stand by for that. Like, and we have to understand that anything that they do to these people, they will do to everyone they can, everyone that will let them get away with it.
Right.
That's just the truth of the matter. But anyway, it is almost 9:00, and we need to go. I need to go. I don't know what you're doing, Dr. Hall, but I need to go and probably eat some more food. Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm actually high and I have the munchies. So I'm probably going to do that. I appreciate you all. Like I said, I'm going to try to be on at least once a week, folks. There's so much going on. It is making our heads spin, but we are going to stay as a community. We're going to support each other. We're going to talk about these things. Like I said, I'm going to be here till they shut it off. I'm going to be here till I have no way of communicating with you all. I don't know what Dr. Hall is going to do. I haven't decided if I'm letting him join the show at all.
Thanks you guys for not booting me this time. Wow. I appreciate not getting booted off the show.
Wow. Really?
I mean, there were threats.
Well, anyway, see, you're talking too much. Like, I don't, like, how you gonna come to my show and then talk shit about that? Like, how you gonna...
Talking shit? What's that? I was just saying I appreciate being here.
All right, one last time. 1 in the chat if he stays, 2 in the chat if he goes.
For the last time?
Final vote.
Oh no, final vote, guys.
As provisional podcast person, this is the last time you're provisional. This is the final vote. This is the last time you're going to be provisional. Okay. So it's the final vote. 1, he stays. Is Dr. H on IG? What is your Instagram handle, Dr. Hall?
Yes, I'm on IG as I'm on Threads as Rich Vaughn, I think. And on IG, I don't really do as much on IG. I just post pictures of sunsets on IG.
Can you type that out for the good people, please?
Wow, can I join the chat? Hold on. I'll do it from the sideways.
Okay, wait. I think I know it. I'll put it.
Yeah.
Because there's a T in it. See, right, my man, loyalty. Loyalty right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why me and Ryan, that's my man. 0.5 you got, not even a 1.
Wow. Thank JoJo. I appreciate it.
Wow.
Yes. And as I said before, I do think that it is an attempt by, the right to overwhelm and confuse, because they know that we can get very divided on our individual issues. But if people look to form community, that's one of the reasons that I like what Dr. T is doing here, is she is forming a community around these issues so that we can come together, we can commiserate, we can share the pain, we can help to carry the burden, which is heavy. And we can strategize as well. And I think we're going to have to start moving into spaces. We're going to take some of these discussions offline and into other spaces. I've been talking a lot with people about this idea that we're going to need some backdoors on the internet. We're going to need to start creating spaces where we can have these discussions, because if having all the tech bros at the inauguration tells us anything, there's going to be a lot more censorship. There's going to be a lot more making it harder to convene. And so find your community. Find it now, get together, start having these conversations, start trying to be in space with each other and community with each other, because I think it's going to be incredibly important for us.
Yeah. And that's what we're doing. And so, like, kind of sharing information, sharing resources. There's going to be a bunch of these different groups that are doing this stuff. And for me, I'm like, the more we have, the better, because we're all working towards the same goal. And that is for liberation. Liberation is always the goal. It was the goal before Trump took office. This time, or the first time, liberation is always the goal. We're still dealing with a lot of things. We're dealing with racial issues, sexual issues, gender issues, religious issues, disability issues, class issues. There's so much that's going on, and all of that is really being exacerbated by this, this fool who is in office. So we are going to work together. We are going to build together. We're going to continue to have this community. Thank you. You all sent me some stuff today. I'm probably going to donate some of it because, some people need some help as well. I'm going to probably donate some of it. I hope you're all okay with that. I have my group is Coalition of Black Women Organizers, Black Sisters from across the country. And we are like really kind of talking shop and like, what do we do? How do we make this happen? So there is work that is happening. There are people that are building their cells. We've watched enough. We've seen the Hunger Games. We read the Hunger Games. We've read Unwind. We've read The Parable of the Sower and the Talents. We've read 1984. We've read Animal Farm. We've read all of these things that have been teaching us about this moment. And this moment is actually here. And so now we just have to be prepared and remember each other. Get out of that neoliberal bullshit. Forget the Democrats. They are not coming to save us. Somebody said that I was campaigning against Kamala Harris. I was not campaigning against Kamala Harris. I never told anybody not to vote for her. I was talking about this entire establishment. All of it is rotten to its core. We cannot rely on the government. We can't rely on mealy-mouthed people like Hakeem Jeffries and even AOC. I see y'all going up for AOC. No. She has been bought and sold.
Yes, I will say one thing that I did see from AOC. AOC did a show with Jon Stewart, and the one takeaway that I took from that was Congress can be bullied. Like, they do want to stay in office, and so if enough of us stay on their necks about this and the other issues, they'll have to do something. But it requires a concentrated effort. It requires,
they're tweeting.
you know, not just tweeting. You need to send mail. You need to go to their offices. You need to do something to get them to know that your issue is an important issue. And if enough of us do it, you can bully them into making a change because they're motivated to stay in office. So it helped me remember there isn't nothing that can be done, but we really have to concentrate on what we need, what we want done.
Oh, Ayana said we will look at this moment and remember that we had work to do, and I hope we're all planning on doing it and not getting distracted by Afropick cutting boards and Target. Absolutely.
Shots fired.
Shots fired, but also correct. Because if I'm, this is I'm not here to try to talk down on another Black woman. I'm really not. I actually, whatever you're going to do your
You don't
thing.
have to do it. You don't have to do it.
But y'all didn't have this same smoke for Walmart, right? And I was talking with some folks about how people feel like Target is being focused on because of how much middle-class Black women love some Target, right? There's whole Facebook groups and everything like that. And that this is being, and there's so many Black women who have been entrepreneurs and been able to, work with Target and get these really nice deals. I have worked with Target on and when they started doing Black History Month stuff a few years ago, guys, I was involved with that. Okay. So I know what this is like, and I know what this level of betrayal feels like, right? But also, fuck Target. Fuck Target. First of all, they're expensive. Like, I've been to Target twice this year. That's more than I did last year. Like, I rarely go there because they're too expensive, in my opinion. But
upscale Kmart.
Yes, that is what Target is. It's always been a high-end Kmart. Like, what the hell? But anyway, Tabitha Brown, her last name is Brown, right?
It's Brown. You got to do it. Go ahead.
Tabitha Brown, came in, basically asked people to not boycott Target because it would hurt her business. Her business that made her a multimillionaire. Her business that allowed her to retire her husband, who was a pig prior to that. So she retired her pig-ass husband from being somebody who, works as an agent of the state against their own people. Let's remember that she was once an actress and a comedian, and she failed as a stand-up comedian and an actress. And so she was able to turn it around by way of her daughter. Her daughter would have her on the screen, and then she became her own thing. And she built her business, and that's wonderful. Hey, shout out to you, like however you use that, right? And then she built this business, TV show, books, the whole thing, like a new wave Oprah, right? Kind of filling that spot. I need more people to talk about the fact that they love her because she fills the Oprah spot for them. Mind you, this woman and I are the same age, right? And so, it is what it is.
In American media.
You said it, I didn't. Nobody's going to say that I said that.
I mean, there's an archetype. If you fit the archetype, America will accept you like a warm hug.
Is that okay? And then she was able to get this deal with Target, and she was able to sell us pineapple cup holders and avocado walkie-talkies or something. I don't know. And because she's vegan, and she was trying to convince us that putting a carrot on a bun turns it into a great alternative for a hot dog.
Yes.
That's what she said. And then she got on, and begs people to not boycott because it would hurt her business. Now, I don't know much about her charitable giving, but I do know that if you are a multimillionaire, you're not giving away enough money. But anyway, I'm not gonna be in her pocket. She's gonna do what she gotta do. She hustled hard. She did what she gotta do. I never bought her shit, so I can't boycott it. I never bought her stuff. So, you know, I'm not saying
the seasoning. They were pretty good.
Oh, the seasonings were good. Anybody else bought Tabitha Brown stuff and really like it? If you like it, that's cool. But here's the thing. She probably had an exclusivity clause, right? And if you don't know what that is, it's like usually a person will sign a contract and it's like this can only be sold there. And so they can't even sell it on their own websites. But if she did not have an exclusivity clause, then that's her bad, because she could have also had, you know, selling her Target stuff on her own website. So what she needs to do is put that nigga to work and have him work on running her warehouse. She needs to find a building. She's got the money, find a local building, develop her products, develop all her things, have him run it, put him to work, and maybe he can do security at the warehouse and then kind of sell things through her own site. She can do that, because what we saw other people doing, there's been a number of beauty brands and others who are saying, I've terminated my contract with Target. I am going to be selling stuff back on my own website. I'm no longer working with Target. These people have gumption. They have spines.
Black capitalism is going to say
black capitalism is not even a real thing. And so it's so interesting that people try to whatever. So it's not shade. It's no shade, no tea. No shade, no tea.
No.
But I thought that was actually egregious. Basically, community, come support me and put more money in my pocket.
Don't jeopardize me. I'm one of you.
No, she's not making it to the mothership, unfortunately. And I do think that she may see a dip in her sales, permanent dip, because of the way she came out.
See,
like that. So
this is what you
may have a different view.
Always fight amongst yourselves. This is why we can't have things, because
I figured she had a pretty ironclad contract. Oh, this was my theory. I said that we need an online marketplace, or we need to start investing in our own warehousing. But see, the problem with Black folks, right? This is the problem with Black folks. They learn nothing from Master P. Black folks seek validation through white cosign. And so, yes. Listen, yes, you can get a nice contract with them. They have great distribution. Okay, I'm a writer, right? I have this book right here. It's nice when you have a nice publishing company, because you get distribution and you can get your book in more stores and more people can see it. But I also know, as an independent person with another book that I released almost 11 years ago that I still get royalty from every month, I know that you can also do your own stuff. And even though it may not as many people will see it, but you make more money off of it, right? So I know, I totally understand.
Makes the water colder, Dr. T.
It does. White man's ice is colder. Yes, that's what I heard.
So we need them for distribution,
right? The same way all these niggas about to go to the Oscars. With as few of us that have been nominated, they're still gonna go to the Oscars. People are in Fashion Week right now. There was some fashion shit that I was seeing posted. Your favorite celebrities do not give a fuck. Like, you got to think about who you follow on Instagram. We said we was going to go. A few seconds. You got to follow who you follow on Instagram. And your favorite celebrities. What are they posting about right now? Are they posting about America collapsing? Or are they posting selfies from their latest red carpet or something? Like, come on.
They're paid to be the distraction.
Being real. We have to start being real about this stuff. We have to start prioritizing stuff, because none of these people are trying to save us, and none of them are thinking about anybody but themselves. They got money. A lot of us don't. So, yeah. So, anyway, thank you all so much. I'm leaving for real this time. Appreciate you all. Take care. Be safe.
It's been fun.